Hey, sixth graders, happy Thursday. It's April 22nd. Like time is whipping by unbelievably, huh? Hey, so today we've got some work to do. And again, this is for those of you who haven't come to class. So really, honestly, I may not be making this video for anyone, which is what I prefer. So I'm going to go through it quick. All right, first things first, talk about narrative nonfiction. We're reading about really a story written by someone about someone, narrative nonfiction, okay? Now, here's the thing. We are submitting, I want to remind you that if you haven't done your book grader project, I want you to submit that. These are the directions again, so you can always freeze this, or you could go back to Tuesday's Tuesday's assignment and watch this video again. The other thing is I want to move on to, like, on Tuesday, we also read Sammy Lee. So if you need to reread that story, I'm going to do that in class, but if you're at home, you can go back and listen to the story on Tuesday because we didn't do this in class. And if you did do this, then you're already ahead, all right? I want you to write a journal entry for Sammy Lee. And these are the questions. So this is all stuff we're doing in class today. If you were at home and you watched Tuesday's video, then you might have done this. If not, the bottom line is these are the questions I want you to process with Sammy Lee. So how would you feel winning the gold medal? You can pick one or two of these, but I want you to write for about 15 minutes. So find a quiet space, get yourself in a headspace, take your notebook out, and you're writing out the answer to these questions in the form of Sammy Lee. This is an I writing assignment. This is like you are sort of putting yourself in Sammy's shoes. Okay. Now, the other work we're going to do is I'm going to introduce some word work. So here's the thing, which we got to understand as well, spelling and vocabulary, like learning how to spell words and using words we don't know makes you smarter. All right. So on the, like, if you think about our left side of our brain, it's very numerical. And that's where spelling sometimes fits because spelling is like math, right? 1 + 1 = 2. The word the is spelled THE. There's no way around it. It's cut and dry. And so it's very analytical spelling. And the more you understand spelling, the more you can apply those solving practices. So if you think about, like, if someone says, what's 100 times 50? You don't know immediately the answer, but you use, like, okay, I got 2 zeros, I got 10 times, all right, I got it, right? So you start thinking about, like, applying your numerical sense. It's the same thing with spelling. On the other side is where we got curiosity and artistic. That's where language comes in. When I describe something beautiful, I could say it's, mesmerizing. It's stunning. It's ridiculously eye-catching. Like, there's a lot of things I could do that would describe something, and I'm using my creative side. I'm pulling language from the world. That's creative, okay? So spelling and vocabulary really is your brain working together, so you're making bridges. So here are the words, and if you're at home and you're watching this, basically what you need to know is that these are the words that I want you to learn in how to spell them. There's some awesome things here that could definitely help you with future spelling. For instance, the idea of, like, this way sound, right? There's the A, E-I. Sometimes A is 2 vowels, and GH is sometimes silent. That's an English thing. Reputation and champion, like this idea that shun and yun is ION. We don't always know that. So these are some patterns we need to look at. I also want to talk about those 2 bonus. I'll always give you, like, a little tiny bit extra credit if you can really spell these words correctly. So here's what I'm going to do in class. I'm going to read these in sentences. Students are going to write them down. Then we're going to look at them, correct them, and learn from them. As we're going to do it on Thursday. And on Tuesday, what will happen is I will have the test. All right. And it will self-correct. It'll be a Schoology test. And basically, the score will be out of 10. So some of you could be getting 12 out of 10 if you do your studying. You will have this available to you all week that you can go back and study, go back and study, go back and study. So really, if you want to, there's no reason you can't get 12 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 12 out of 10 for the rest of the year. And that might help some of you, like, have a little bit better score if that's what you're worried about. I will promise you this won't kill your grade. This won't, like, you could fail this and it won't destroy your grade. I don't want it to be that powerful. Okay. So that's something to work on as well. Now, lastly, the last thing we're going to do in class is we're going to be reading that story, right? 16 years and 16 seconds. But here's the thing. We also want to go further. So I'm kind of presenting you with a challenge. I'm going to give you some Schoology resources right here. Sammy Lee Story, Britannica, Sammy Lee. I want you to click on most likely either one or really more than one, because you're looking to pick two more facts about Sammy Lee we did not learn from the book that matter. So here's the thing. Don't just copy the first sentence. Do some reading and find something that you find interesting. If you can't find anything interesting, you got to dig deeper. That's what we do. Archaeologists don't just dig for 1 inch and be like, nope, it's done, it's out of here, there's nothing here. They go further. So I want you to dig a little bit and find out a little bit more about Sammy Lee, because I'm kind of like presenting you with a challenge here. This is not real. Our school board did not say, let's not study Sammy Lee. I'm presenting you with a fake situation where maybe they did. And what our job is to sort of defend the idea that we should study Sammy Lee. All right. So hopefully we've read enough where you should be able to say, this is a valid person to learn about. And if you haven't done that, maybe you need to like pay a little bit more attention to our lessons. Right. So that's the thing, is I want you to sort of think about this. And then the question is, why should we learn about Sammy Lee? So in your notebook, I'd like you to write down 8 things based on what we read with the story, the book, and then maybe what you found. Why should we learn about Sammy Lee? And don't just give facts. Sometimes you got to explain facts. Like if you just write down he was born in 1914, do we need to learn that? Why do we need to learn that he was born in 1914? Like, what's the point there? So there's our goals. So today, first things first, if you haven't submitted your book creator project, do that. I will say there's been some careless submissions, so take your time. Journal writing for perspective, we've done that. Some basic research, we should have done that. And the thinking about the why of learning something, that's that challenge here. So there's only thing to turn in today, and there's nothing really to turn in, is make sure your book creator project is turned in. And then the assignment would be to turn in your 2 facts. So that's all you need to do. So let me do that. I'm gonna make sure I write this down. Submit facts. That's it. All right, everyone. Hope you're good. We'll see ya.